Here we go, folks. So, you look at the description tonight, and it says, um, it says, work on yourself every day. I'm big into, I am big in more now to really, to take a look at working on yourself every day. And knowing that I think there's a little bit more to it than what I'm hearing. So that's just what I'm into right now. It's the self work, the daily self work. Um, so hey, Christy. So okay, work on yourself. Why are they saying that? Like these gurus, and you hear them talk, they will say, work on yourself every day, and when you say work on yourself, what do you mean? And how do you even work on yourself? Because there is work that needs to be done, but you need to know what to do. So the conclusion I came to, well, this is from my personal experience and from my understanding about the working on yourself there, and when I wasn't working on myself, how my life was. When I start working on myself, how my life turned around, and I see the changes. Um, I didn't have so much. My life wasn't so much chaotic anymore because of the work I start doing. Then I realized that this work needs to be done on a daily basis. One of my favorite book is called The Game of Life and How to Play It. Life is a game. The whole thing is a game. And if we're going to enter into a game, we need to know how to play that game. Now, I wonder why so many of us are called losers. Because we are entering into a game which we do not know how to play. And we are getting whooped, killed. We're getting beaten up by life itself because we do not know how to play the game called life. So that's a great book I'd recommend, The Game of Life, by Florence Scovel Shinn. And yeah, she said basically life is a game and you need to know how to play it. One of her method, I think that's her main method. She talks about speaking the word. Now, this is whatever word you want to um, burn into your subconscious mind, whatever that is. And she talks about that a lot, about speaking the word, um, you know, get more out of life, or start to win at the game of life. So you will hear some people might say affirmations and so forth, but I want you to be cautious when it comes to affirmations. Not that affirmations is a bad thing. Thank you very much, Doni. Not that affirmations are bad, but from my personal experience, me using affirmations, when I first heard about affirmations, they would say, well, you must speak affirmations because you want more money. And think that's true. And that makes sense as well because we do want more money. But I would say, don't do it that way. Just make affirmation a part of your system. So Mean system, I mean these are things that you do every single day. So that way you can remind yourself. For because like we say, we are playing in a game here that we do not know how to play, the game of life, and we want to play it correctly so that way we can win. Hey Lee, good to see you. Appreciate you. So, we're talking about creating systems. I understand, because now I'm looking at, I'm using my personal experience as well, because that's how I'm gonna understand what Florence Scovel is talking about when she talks about the game of life. Now, I accidentally create something called a system. It's later on down the road, I listened to other people and they were like, yeah, these guys we see are winning out there in the world, they actually have systems. I didn't even know what a system is. Or my system back in the day was to get up, get in my car, drive to work, and come back home, and it was just that. That's it. That was it. I was just going around in circles. Then when I learned personal development and I hear all these gurus talking, and some of what they said makes sense, so I start to implement one by one, what some of these strategies that they were talking about. One of them is to wake up early and start your day off on a good foot. So throughout the day, you'll find yourself encountering less and less problems. I remember when I wasn't doing that. And I started out my day, started off miserable, and I went to bed miserable as well. So we're gonna change that. That's why we're gonna implement systems. So affirmations are gonna become part of your system. You need a system. You have to create one that actually works for you. Now, you can, borrow from other people. I did that, but over time, I want something that is tailored to me, where this is my system. This is the one that I create for myself. Because you can try somebody else's system and then it might not work for you. And that can be very disappointing, because that system didn't work for you, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. So now you might, you just give up and you are saying, no, to hell with whatever these people are talking about with their personal development, personal growth stuff. I don't want, I'm not even going to bother with it. And we don't want you to do that. We want you to stay here and work and do the work. So it's best if you have a system. You can use your system to navigate throughout the day. These are reminders. Remind you of the things that's important in your life, and these are things that you need to get done. So, you do not want to, hey, jerker. So, we want you to create a system. You might not know how to do that. It is not difficult to do. But no, when you have your system, it might be difficult for you to follow that system, especially if you have a bit much to do. For instance, the pilot, they have a certain system that they follow to make sure that the plane doesn't go down, over the mountains or in some oceans somewhere out there. Okay? They have a system that they follow. All right? you need to have a system as well that you follow. So that way, your life is not a living hell. You know what I mean? So wake up early, wake up early and start off your day. Uh, Christy, let that guy talk. Leave him, just ignore him. Let him, yeah, just ignore that guy. Don't even bother with him. I um yeah, I wouldn't waste my time on a person like that. Yeah. So we're gonna work on these systems so that way we can use a system to navigate our lives because we are playing the game of life, which can become a mess if we do not know how to properly navigate throughout the day. Because there are going to be people who are going to show up to create some type of scene, some type of drama, and you need to know how to handle people like those. How not to get into a long, drawn out quarrel with that person who is looking for a fight, anyways. And you run into them, and you're gonna have to understand that what's best, you know. So no, I was reading somebody sent some hip hop song, something look like that there. So yeah, yeah. So we're talking about building systems here. This is part of the personal development work, and this is the work on yourself. I wrote out a list of things that I need to do every single day, so that way I can get better at the game of life. I want to play it better. I notice when I notice that stress and anger slows me down. So I, try my best to rid myself of stress and anger, or I keep it at a minimal, minimalize it. Make sure that I don't have too much of it. Very little stress, very little anger. So that way I can keep moving fast. Because you see, once you get into a situation where it makes you so angry, where you have to stop to think about it for days, months, perhaps even years, you are walking around with this thing in your mind, you are thinking about it. So what do? I try my best to navigate away from situations which I'm gonna get drawn into, where I'm going to have, create a new enemy, create new problems which I do not want. My system is what I rely on. You cannot rely on luck and chance. Luck and chance doesn't work. Your system is what works. Are there going to be problems in your life? Yes. Situations are going to arise whether we like it or not. And this is why our systems are so important. So we can handle the difficult situation, the tough situation when it arises. So we gotta create a system. You gotta be certain things that you do daily. You have to keep reminding yourself. So I would look at money affirmations. This is how I look at it. It reminds you that you still have that goal, that financial goal to meet. You would still like to earn that amount of money. You might not be able to memorize it off the top of your head, but when you go through your system every single day, you would be reminded that you need to create wealth, financial abundance, and you are thinking about the law of compensation. What can people compensate you for? What work would they compensate you for? What do you know how to do? Where somebody's gonna pick up the phone and call you and said, I would need you to come solve this problem here for me. So that way I can pay you whatever you charge. So money affirmations. And of course, spirituality. You have to remind yourself to work on your soul. Gotta work on that. Soul set. You need to know that you want to go through life peaceful, calm, calm and peaceful. You would like to be a little bit more kind, a little bit more loving, caring, compassionate. That's what spirituality does for me. It helps me to show compassion to other people. So that way when I show up in their lives, I don't have to pretend. I don't have to try to be compassionate. I'm already compassionate because I practice compassion. Right? So, and as well, take care of your fitness. That needs to be done. I understand it's hard work. Some people don't want to go to the gym. And they will make up all sorts of excuses to not go to the gym, not hit the floor, do the push-ups, not working out, none of that stuff. They'll make up all sorts of excuses. Some of the most some of the kindest people you will realize that their system includes fitness in there. These are healthy people, and typically these are people who are smile. You see that their smiles are brighter than most of us. So healthy, happy people. I heard a term here recently. It's called fat and happy. Holy. Sure, you can be fat and happy. Not saying that's not true. But I would I would reevaluate that. I would think carefully about that. To go there and go say, hey, I want to be, I am fat and happy. That might work. It might work for a period of time. It might even work for a long time. But typically, when you look at the people who actually get respect, when they walk into the room and you start see how people gravitate towards them and want to hang around them and want to be their friends, typically these people are not fat at all. And we have to is look, you know, it's like this is not bashing anybody who has weight on them. That's not the problem here. But the society that we live in, it does they do judge us. If I walk into certain places, I'm black. I have to deal with that you know that comes with it. You know that comes with it. I have to learn how to like be okay. I see somebody looking at me a little bit strange, and I'm like, yeah, I get it. I'm black. I know. You know, you automatically you think I'm a criminal. I get it. So people do judge us, folks, but we have to try to avoid, not avoid, but try to work with these judges because they do judge us. So if you are fat and happy, fine, that's okay. But I mean, you know, this is for men. I'm talking about men now. If you know, if a woman is fat, I really don't care about it so much. I really don't, because that's not gonna stop her from getting a boyfriend. It's just not gonna happen. All right, she's gonna get a boyfriend anyways. So I'm talking about men. You know, so for men, we probably shouldn't allow ourselves to get to be out of shape. It works against us. I hear women all the time, "Oh, I love me a fatty." Um, don't believe her. You probably should not. I don't think she's being honest. Or what I think she's saying is, I will take you, Brandon, as my boyfriend, but I'm still going to sleep with the jack guy from the gym. That's what I think she's saying. So don't believe that nonsense. When you know when you hear women talk about I love me a fatty. Oh, fat guys are cool. I have dated fat guys before. Oh, why did you guys broke up? You know? So, you know, don't believe that stuff. So for men, so this is why part of your system should include fitness in there. We need to get into the gym, get into shape, and we need to work out. And we need to start running. Build, you know, running builds up your stamina. Um, it helps you breathe better. If you are thinking about meditation, running is part of your meditation. I would say that's you can use running as part of your meditation. So your system should include running as well. Hard work is difficult, it's not easy, but we should do it. I do. Today's day for 419 days since I'm running. I run every single day. That's just that you know I don't plan on changing that anytime soon. So build system, build systems and use the systems to run, you know, to run your life. You cannot function off of just memory alone. When you, let's say you are somebody who hasn't read in a long time, when you pick up a book to read, you can tell that you weren't practicing reading because you are just not that good at it because you haven't read in such a long time. And that's what your system does for you. So when you stop working with your system, you stop using you stop doing the things that make your life run more smooth. Right? That's what your system does. It makes your life run more smooth. It makes your life a little bit easier. You're a little bit more happier. And if you stop doing that, what's gonna happen? Your programs kicked in, your old habits, those old habits, old programming, all that come back in and start running your life again. You start going back down to the club, you start going back to the bars, you start chasing these women that you know you shouldn't be chasing anyways. You know, you start doing all those things. You start spending your money on all types of nonsense because you stop following, you stop working with your system. So that's what we're talking about here. Personal growth. Build the systems and let the systems run your life. If your system is not running your life, your subconscious programs are going to be running your life. Those programs that you were downloaded with from age 1 to 7 or even before that, all those bad habits, you are trouble. Your life is chaos. Your life is a problem. I mean, you are trouble. You create all types of problems for yourself. You invite all types of drama into your life. Keeps you broke. You hardly can even keep a place. You hardly can even keep a roof over your head because you are just reckless. And yeah, you are trouble. You are problems. You are a problem, and you are causing all types of trouble and problems for you and for other people as well. And you keep on getting yourself into more and more and more problems, and you are wondering what the hell is going on here. You do not have a system. That is what a system does. It reduces, lessen and reduces those problems and trouble, and your life becomes less chaotic. Your life becomes more smoother, more calmer, more peaceful. You are now more attractive. People want to be around you. They want to be your friend. They want to talk to you, and they want to hang out with you because they see something in you, and they probably even wonder, how did you develop such a calm demeanor? What happened? What kind of work are you doing? They are interested. They are interested. They're going to ask you all these things, and this is when you can explain to them that you live by your systems, by your system or your systems. All right. So those are some of the things there that and don't forget, try to do a little bit of reading every single day. Now, we're talking about systems, but we need to practice. We got to practice. We got to get up every single day and practice, because practice, practice for what? Why are we practicing? We are practicing so that we can live a more calmer, smoother life. We want to enjoy a little bit more of life. When you are running from your subconscious programs, most of us, I should say, we don't have good programs. So when you are running from those programs, your life is just a mess. A lot of us know, because of our programming and where we came from, we experience that. Your system will counter your programs. And this is why when you start on this journey here, this personal growth journey, you got to continue on. Oh, after my life becomes better, can I quit? Can I just stop doing what I'm doing? Can I just abandon my systems? No, you can't. Well, you can, but you shouldn't, because if you do, I guarantee you, 6 months time, a year time maybe, you're gonna find yourself right back where you were. And that you are running away from that old programming. And you want to experience a different life. And that's why we recommend get into personal development. Create systems that will help you to experience life, experience a calmer living, uh, makes your life more smooth, it makes your life more easier. Anger, pain, bitterness holds you back. It's very difficult to move forward when you are angry, bitter, stressed out, and you have all these negative emotions. It's very difficult for you to move forward. I'm not saying you can't, but it's very hard to do. And this is why we're going to have to create systems to counter, the old programming, which is keeping you where you are. Download some new softwares in your bio computer, because we are computer. Human beings are. We are biocomputers. Just like how the computer that you see when you buy it from the store, you have to program it. You are programmable as well. All right? And that's the reason why when those people who we were around in those early days, you can see some of those people in you today, until you become conscious and you decide to change those programs. You're going to be running from your old programming from the past. All right. Okay, then, folks. Hi, Kaden. All right, then, folks. Ryan here with a new live. Looking forward to see you soon, a brand new live. Don't forget, folks, to like and subscribe and help out your boy to get out into the YouTube universe. And I'm gonna be keep talking about how you can actually live a more smoother, calmer, peaceful life. All right, bye for now.